Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Mufti Sahib. How's it going?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, Bajan?
Great, great. Man, you left me yesterday early and I was all alone, so I took advantage of your absence for the last 15 minutes.
I heard you were busting out some Urdu poetry.
No Urdu poetry. Do you think I know Urdu poetry?
I watched, actually, I caught the last 15 minutes. I wanted to, benefit from some of your gems as well.
Man, now you're just flattering me. How's everything, Mufti Sahib? How's it going?
Alhamdulillah. You're good?
Alhamdulillah, I want to welcome everyone. Today we're starting at 9:45. So ahlan wa sahlan marhaban bikum. And I hope you're doing well. I'm here with Mufti Abdul Rahman, who is based out of Warren, Michigan, and myself out of Flint. Flint. This is the city, the blessed city of Flint, Michigan. Alhamdulillah. So Mufti Sahib, we talked about Surah Mu'minun yesterday.
Yeah, some people were waiting from I think 9. They've been here since 9:20. They've been here for 20 minutes. I mean, we appreciate you being here. Jazakallah khair for spending time waiting for this program. We really appreciate that. And someone else asked about there was a program delayed today. Yeah, we discussed that yesterday, that our timing will be from 9:45 from today onwards. So just put that in your schedule. That'll be from 9:45 till 10:15. And Brother Bilal Shah, we gotta put that scuba diver suit away. But everyone's on, that thing has gone viral now. The scuba diver, the wah, the tantalizing. Some people, they demand me to tell them what Baijan means now. They say, man, I'm older than you, gotta call me Baijan too now. So you gotta stop putting this stuff out there, Baijan.
I'm gonna calm down slowly. Just it all depends on my mood, Sometimes I'm skydiving, scuba diving. We're all in different moods, But Mufti Sahib, we are going to go ahead. I talked about a little bit about Noor yesterday. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ نُورٌ فَمَا لَهُ مِن نُور. You gave a very beautiful explanation of one of the most beautiful verses in the Quran, verse number 35, chapter number 24. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. You spoke about that, but there's so much going on, and so where are you starting today? What's going on? Give me some. Take us for a walk. Take us for a hike.
Not a dive.
Not a dive. I didn't put on my scuba dive suit today.
Okay, hold on. So yes, so we're also to Sister Afshan. We're also saying salam to your daughter. She's 4 years old. MashaAllah. May Allah make her pious, salihah, and coolness to the parents' eyes, inshallah. And all the kids who are watching, we get a lot of comments from parents who say their kids are watching with them, and they're demanding that we do something for their kids as well. So let them know we have something in store for the kids as well, Bajan. You're not only entertaining for adults, but you are for kids as well.
Khawla is watching too. Khawla from Canada. So a lot of kids are watching, and I want to give you. You want to say something for the kids? Do you want me to do it?
You do, Bajan.
Oh mere bachcho, oh mere pyare bachcho. We love you all, and we really appreciate you guys tuning in. And we see Mariam and all the little girls and boys who are tuning in. It's so honoring that your children are watching us talk about Quran, and hopefully they will learn something. And I'm telling you, we have a little Ruqayya from Canton watching in, and when you watch us, hopefully the things that we say, they penetrate into your hearts. And when your parents make a mistake, you can say, "Mama, the scuba diver Sheikh said don't do that," and Baba, you look chikna. So when you have your children around you in the gathering like this, it's so beautiful having children, family, even from Flint. Dr. Jundi watches with his grandchildren. It's beautiful that you have grandparents, grandchildren all watching together. And they're all here to watch you, Mufti Sahib. They all want to learn from you. And the fact that we have different people from all age groups watching, this is so beautiful. And I appreciate the parents and really, really appreciate the children and the youth who are watching. Jazakallah khair.
Okay, so Bajan, before we get into Surah Furqan, I believe it's very, very important for us to just speak a little bit about Surah Nur at the end of it, and then jump into Surah Furqan and Surah Shu'ara and Surah An-Naml, which is the 19th juz today. See, Bajan, the thing is, we are a community or a society consumed by so much information. So much information, okay?
If my computer starts to lag and you don't see clearly, let me know.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Just want to know. I might
What are you gonna do? If I tell you, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I'm gonna make dua, something. Just let me know.
Okay, so whoever was in my Surah Hujurat Ramadan immersion program today, I spoke a little bit about this as well. See, Bajan, the thing is, we as a society and a community, we're so used to sharing information before we verify. With one click, Mufti Asim says you are as you click and you are as you tap. Like if you're indiscriminative and sharing things and clicking on things, then that's who you are, right? And this whole Surah An-Nur was brought down to teach, but again, this is an important policy, man. It brought down to teach human beings that Islam cares about people's privacies. Like there is a certain level of privacy of human beings. And it's so important that Surah An-Nur, forget the part of reputation, it speaks about so Zabi, our sister Zabi was part of the Hujurat class, and I said Shaykh Sulmanullah's quote of verify before you amplify, right? And ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu, you verify it. So this is what Surah Nur teaches us. Now but check this out. Allah is he gives so much attention to someone's privacy that he teaches in Surah Nur, he teaches us how to enter into someone's house. So the Nur teaches us this. Knock on the door, wait. He even instructs children how to knock on their parents' homes. You can just walk inside the house, even if it's your own parents. He teaches us your parents have a level of privacy. Your children have a level of privacy. Your neighbors have a level of privacy. He even teaches about al-ghadd al-basar. Whenever we think about ghadd al-basar, we think about, not mahram only. But in this surah, he talks about lowering our gaze, because Imam Muslim rahimahullah talks about lowering the gaze means that when you go to someone's house, like if you entered the house with your gaze, it is as if you already entered the house. You can't just go in the corner and peek inside the house. That's how much he has protected someone's privacy, right?
How about the phone checking? How about the spouse checking the other spouse's cell phone?
No, I'm not saying anything about that.
Okay. You're scared. Okay. I'll talk about that.
You're the guy.
I got the guts. No, I'll do it. Don't worry.
So
I don't fear anyone except God and my wife.
Surah Nur talks about that. Then when you talk about that in one aspect, then within that aspect it talks about, all right, how do you react when you hear something negative about somebody, right? How do you react to that? You hear something negative about someone, rumor, like we don't work for the rumor bill. See, there are three, I said this in Surah Hujurat today. There are three categories of people when you hear about something. The first category is if you hear a rumor, rumors and scandals and like these are people like this is juicy information. This happened.
Oh, this is juicy stuff.
Yeah,
this is the wedding discussion. Do you know what happened to Sabrina? Or like Khadija ki beti ke saath kya hua?
Yeah. You get caught up into it so quickly. Oh, yeah. And then what happens after that is that's why all like this print media is pretty much it's a dead business. Print media, everything's digital except for like those magazines on those grocery stores that are all about rumors and scandals. Like those are still there, they're still running, because we love to consume that stuff. Allah talks about this in Surah An-Nur. He says, look, there are three categories. The first, there's a category of people who are, they just unconditionally support and love you. Whatever happens, no, this person could not have done something like this. There's a second category of unconditional opposition. And there's a third category of people who are neutral and they can be swayed by one or the other.
Unconditional opposition. I'm interested in that one.
So unconditional opposition is basically saying like, it doesn't matter what happens, I don't like this guy.
It doesn't matter what they do right, they just don't like them.
This is true. Like this guy is guilty until proven innocent in Allah's courts in Qiyamah. Until then, he's guilty, right?
Wow.
He's guilty. So Surah Nur explains this to us. Like, look, a lot of times, when your phone, Bajan, we share things on WhatsApp and on Facebook. Be careful. Forward it as received. That's not gonna save you on the day of judgment if you slandered somebody by just forwarding something. You know, sometimes you do it with good intention. Could you please forward something negative about somebody? Please tell me, verify this. It's your job to verify it. Don't send it before verifying it. So Surah An-Nur talks about that. Like, listen, the Prophet said on the day of Hajjatul Wada, he said, "Ala inna dima'akum wa amwalakum wa a'radakum haramun alaykum." Your blood, your properties, and your reputation are sacred, man. We can't just, Allah has not given us anyone the license to just rip through someone's sanctity, man. We can't do that. We cannot do that. So we all, as a humankind, have to be, especially the Muslim community. And what's interesting in the Surah Al-Hajj, Allah talks about it, that when you do that, in the tafsir, Ibn Kathir mentions, when you start doing that to others, think of that as this: would you ever take one hand and start cutting your finger of the other hand off? You would never do that. The whole Muslim ummah is like one body. When you do that, it is as if you're doing that to your own body. It's not worth it. You know,
why do people do it? Like, why do people talk about other people? I want the answer. Nice cup.
Maza aata hai unko yaar.
They just have this.
It's just because it's easy to do. But then here's the thing. It's easy to do because, look, when you want to hurt someone else, you can either hurt them physically or through words. If you want to hurt them physically, you have to be a man enough. You have to be strong enough. You can't just go someone to punch them if you're not strong enough, right? But to hurt them with your words, you could be someone sitting in front of a screen, just type something, you know, and you've completely like.
It's the attitude of weak people.
Yeah, you can completely tear apart someone's reputation just by a few clicks. I mean, anonymous letter. You know, we've gone so low that we'll write a letter about someone else's reputation, destroy his reputation, and not even put our name on it. Like,
come on, naughty guys. Yeah.
Anonymous. Written by anonymous. Like, really? You're not even man enough to say something that's who it is, so we can. So the Prophet is in the Quran, Allah speaks about this. He's, listen, be careful, man, because even if you be jahala, Allah says be jahala. Even if you unintentionally, you didn't mean any harm, you unintentionally forward something and you spread something, you will get the every single person will get their share of sins. So let's stop this.
You know what? This issue isn't just with men, women. You might think this issue of gossip is something that's related to people who don't pray, or people who don't fast. But this is a sickness that's embedded into people who pray tahajjud.
Yeah.
Those people, mashallah, they have the scarves on, they have big beards, they're in the front row of the masjids, they are the activists of their communities, but they're the ones that are, I'm not making a general rule, but these are the same people. Sometimes when it comes to speak against someone, they don't hesitate.
Yeah.
If you look at the story of the people who accuse Aisha, radiallahu anha, right? This is in the same context. In Surah Nur, they accuse Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, the daughter of Abu Bakr. Abu Mufti Sahib, can you get a woman better than this? In that Medina era, the daughter of Abu Bakr and the wife of the Prophet. Okay, the closest that comes to that is Hafsa, the daughter of Umar, the wife of the Prophet. But there's no one that comes in the era of Medina. In Khadija was in Mecca, so that's
the daughter of the Prophet, you know,
the daughter of the Prophet, Khadija, and the wife of Ali radiallahu anhu. So we have these great individuals. They went after the Ummul Mu'mineen, the most pure woman. One of the most pure women on the planet, married to the most pure human, the Prophet ﷺ, the daughter of one of the most pure human, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, a man who never lies, his daughter was so pure. They went after her. And Mufti Sahib, they were people who participated in Badr, correct? There were Muslims who had been participating. There was a woman, Hamna bint Jahash, whose brother, Abdullah bin Jahash, who was a martyr of the day of Uhud. She herself is a very special, righteous woman too. But it feels like when it comes to gossiping and talking about other people, we feel like this is like we have a lot of leverage to do it. I have to say something like, you know, we are told few things. Like, even if it's true, even if I know something about you, I know something about your children. I see someone's daughter and son in the Great Lakes crossing the street together, holding hands, you know, two opposite gender, and I say, oh, baji, call sister. I saw the kuri munda. I saw the guy and the girl walking around. You won't believe it. They know you were so. I took a picture. Mufti Saab, people take pictures. They go so low. They take pictures of other people's mistakes, and then they take screenshots, and then they circulate it. Why? Why would you do that? Would you want someone to do that to your daughter, your son? That's one thing. So number one, we have to have some self-dignity. The other thing is this, Mufti Saab, where if it's true, if someone is doing something wrong, isn't there a concept of hiding someone's faults?
Yeah, of course there is.
This is like someone made a mistake, they're going to repent. But this should be like a concept, because what happens when someone hides someone's faults in this dunya? What happens, Mufti Saab?
Bajan, listen, here's the deal. Look, there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things right here, Bajan.
Mufti Saab, you're going to go very deep. I'm going to get my chai. It's right there.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I can do this with you for 13 more days. It's going to be too tough. Like, I'm already getting
I gotta work for this kind of stuff.
So here's the thing, Bajan. So you asked the question, why do we do this for? The first, of course, is that what we said, like, you know, it's a sign of a weak person who just sits behind, you know, a phone or something, and we just right away, and we can't do it in front of, we just hide behind anonymous names and screens. The second is, listen, Bajan, here's the thing. The second is, if a person who's so busy with himself, with his own, you know, with his own rectification, his own growth. Like, I don't want to give an example of Amazon's, you know, founder Jeff Bezos.
No, don't do that. Please don't do it.
He said something. He says, I can care less.
I can't believe you're quoting this guy.
My
goodness, Jeff. Until he doesn't give me Amazon Prime for free for my life, I don't like him. All right, go ahead.
So he said, I don't care, like, I don't bother myself in seeing what my competition is doing. I can care less. I'm focused on what I'm doing. That's all I'm focused about. So Allama Iqbal says about this. He says, ढूंढने वाला सितारों की गुज़रगाहों का अपनी अफकार की दुनिया में सफर कर न सका, जिसने सूरज की शुआओं को गिरफ्तार किया, जिंदगी की शब तारीख सहर कर न सका. Okay, Bajan, you have to listen to
that. Was too much Urdu for me. Break it down.
ढूंढने वाला सितारों की गुज़रगाहों का, the one who was searching for the moon and for the stars and for the galaxies all the way up there. He traveled to the moon. He's trying to travel outside the planet Earth. अपनी अफकार की दुनिया में सफर कर न सका. He failed to travel within himself. He failed to take a scuba dive within his own self, looking at his own faults. Because a person who looks at his own faults gets blinded from other people's faults. And a person who's always looking at other people's faults, the punishment is he gets blinded from his own faults or her own faults. You see? So he's saying that this person has gone all the way there, but he forgot what's right in front of him.
Is that Allama Iqbal?
Yeah. जिसने सूरज की शुआओं को गिरफ्तार किया. It's like the one who learned how to utilize the rays of the sun. Like, you know, we made greenhouses and this and that. So we mimic the strength and the power of the sun rays. We learned this new technology, right? Like,
we advanced so much in that field. That's what he's saying.
We've advanced so much in that field, yeah. Zindagi ki shab tariq sahar kar na saka, but this man could not light a lamp in the darkness of himself. He could not light a lamp in his own life because he's so worried about others, so consumed about others. So
don't you think Iqbal Saab, you know, he's taking this, rahmatullah alayh, is taking this from a hadith of the Prophet, where the Prophet said, يُبْصِرُ أَحَدُكُمْ الْقَضَاةَ فِي أَخِيهِ, that a person could see a small a prick of a mistake, you know, like a small, like a twig of faults in his Muslim brother or sister, وَيَنْسَى الْجَزْعَ فِي عَيْنَيْهِ, but himself or herself sees a huge trunk of mistakes right there. They have a mountain of mistakes, but they're blinded to their own mistakes, but they're able to see a small mistake in other people.
Yeah, it's that beautiful hadith. And you know, you said about, you know, hiding a person's faults, but Jan, quickly I'll mention in 1 minute that great story of Umar ibn Khattab anhu, who again, all these words we say to you, they you know, if we look at the lives of Sahaba, all the beautiful hadith, akhlaq, Umar ibn Khattab anhu was a life, physical manifestation of these attributes. So any quality you talk about, you can give an example of his life. So one day he was in Medina al-Munawwara.
I want to let the crowd just to say, when we say Umar radiallahu anhu, Radiallahu anhu. When we say the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sallu ala nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everyone's, if we can all type sallallahu alaihi wasallam once, right, and say sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and make our children say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's bless this gathering with the names of these pious people. Bismillah. Sorry.
Umar anhu, Aisha anha used to say that if you, this is a beautiful statement of Aisha anha, then it was also said by Sufyan Thawri rahimahullah. They both said, if you want to bring light to your gathering and bring iman to your hearts, mention the stories of Umar.
Zayyinu majalisikum bi dhikr Umar.
Ah, subhanallah, Bajan, you killed it. Beautify your gatherings with the mention of Umar bin Khattab. So check this out, Bajan. One day, he's doing his rounds in the city of Medina, and he hears some music from a house in Medina al Munawwara. So this man,
party going on.
His antenna went up. He's like, man, this person is
having a good time. So he goes to go check on him. The door is locked from the front. He looks from the window and he sees this person literally like singing songs, like a proper party going. I'm not sure if he was doing that or if he was doing this. One of the two he was doing. Okay.
So Umar al-Khattab jumps from the top of that, because their houses in those days had, with the windows, they were not always covered from the tops. So he jumped in the house. He gets in front of this guy and he grabs him. He said, "You have no fear of Allah."
I love this story, Mufti.
You listen to music in the city of Medina. You don't care. Umar is alive and you're doing this. You have no shame.
He says something like this: "Ma ra'aytu aqbaha manzar." I haven't seen something worse than this. A rajul yantadhiru ajal, like a person who's about to die, who's
an old guy, yeah.
Old guy, and it's still indulgent sins.
He's like, I've never seen a worse scene in my life. An old man, indulged in sins. Like, you're about to die, you're doing this in the city of Medina. So that old man said, "Oh, Amir al-Mu'mineen, I'm committing a sin, I admit, but you also committed 3 major sins." Umar al-Khattab, right when he heard that he committed 3 major sins, he did not do what we do. Really? But stop it, bro. You did this. He didn't start arguing.
He didn't become defensive.
He just worried about himself. He's worried about himself, man. Right away, it goes back to himself, right? You know that Urdu poem says, "Tu idhar udhar ki baat na kar, ye bata ki qafila kyun lota, mujhe rehzanon se gila nahi, teri rehbari ka sawal hai," right? Shaykh always mentions it. Like, don't talk about this person or that person. Talk about yourself. How are you leading this caravan? Why did your eyesight get away from this caravan that got looted? Your job was to preserve the deen of Allah. Your job was to preserve the lifestyle of the Prophet ﷺ. You took your eyes off of it, and now people are tarnishing it. Now people they can say something about it. By the time of Sahaba, they kept their eyes on the road, eyes on the prize. So no one could say anything about the life of the Prophet ﷺ. He was preserved, Yeah. So here's Umar al-Khattab. He says, well, what did I do wrong? He said, well, the hukm of Allah is, don't spy on others. You were spying on me.
La tajassasu.
You were spied on me.
Yep.
The second is,
ادخلوا من أبوابها فادخلوا من أبوابها.
The second hukm of Allah is enter from the front door. You jumped in from the side door, from the top, without asking permission. The hukm of Allah is take permission before you come. You didn't do that. You jumped from the side without taking permission. And the third thing you did wrong was you're supposed to say salam right when you entered. You did not say salam to me.
Yeah.
So 3 things you did wrong.
فسلموا على أهلها.
فسلموا على أهلها. You did all 3 things you didn't do. Umar al-Khattab said, "Forgive me, my brother. I'm sorry. And he left. Right when he was told about his mistake, he left. I mean, he could have done anything. He was the Amir al-Mu'mineen. He could have said, "Listen, bro, we'll talk about myself later." And these 3 things were not big deals,
Wasn't the same narration that he had alcohol?
Yeah.
He had alcohol, right?
He was drinking and he was playing music at the same time. He was drinking and playing music at the same. It was a party. You said that.
And Umar ibn Khattab caught this guy.
And Umar ibn Khattab caught him. Okay? So now what happens is, now this man used to come for salah. Now Umar al-Khattab, after every salah, is looking for this person and he can't find him. One day, after many months, one day after Fajr Salah, Umar al-Khattab turns around and he sees this person somewhere in the back of the gathering.
Yep.
He catches him. And right away he says to him, come here. I want to talk to you about something. So everyone looks at Umar al-Khattab like, why is this man calling this average old man? What does he have to do with him in the middle of the whole gathering? He comes to him. He tells him, come near me. And he brings him so close to him and he whispers something in his ear. And what does he whisper in his ear? He says, "Oh, my brother, I want to tell you something. That day I saw you doing what you were doing. Wallahi, I never told anyone about it. So don't be embarrassed. Nobody knows about what you did that day."
And that day, who's with him? Do you remember who's with him?
Aslam.
Ibn Abbas, I think, or
Yeah,
Aslam. Ibn Abbas. He said, I did not even tell Ibn Abbas who was outside the house. I didn't even tell him about it.
Yeah, so he went inside, and some say Aslam, something Ibn Abbas. When I came out, I didn't even tell him. And
Amazing.
nobody knows about what happened, just between me and Allah. No one knows about this. I mean, how he kept it such a secret, man. Like how we do things. We see something that may have 10 different angles, but we take that negative angle. And
we see something good, we make it negative.
That too. That too. And then what happened with what did the old man say? The power of this characteristic is you can change lives, man. You can change lives. What did that old man say? The old man,
people who criticize me never changed me. People who help me in positive ways with their wisdom are the ones who influence me.
Yeah,
a lot of times we're always criticizing people, making fun of people. They're not going to change because you're bringing so much harm to them.
Yeah,
they're never going to find you as a well-wisher.
Absolutely. So then what did the old man do? The old man then whispered in Umar al-Khattab's ears, and he said, Allah is my witness. From that day onwards, that day you saw me drinking and listening to music, I have never drank or listened to music since that day.
What happened?
You tell us, man.
No, you tell me, Mufti. You said the story. Tell me what.
No, you finish it. You finish it.
I have to say that he was impressed that Umar radiallahu anhu didn't retaliate. So one of the most beautiful things about witnessing something being done wrong is how you interact with that person. So if you see someone smoking and you say, "Oh my God, you're smoking in Ramadan," this guy is like he's never going to be your friend again. If you Prophet ﷺ, this is what I want to say with this up. I want to say this is not scuba dive material, but this is snorkeling material.
Okay.
But what I find in the Quran and the Sunnah, that zina is wrong, drinking is wrong. These things are wrong. Don't do adultery. Don't intoxicate yourself. Don't go gambling. But when people were admitting their faults in front of the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't exploit them and their weakness. He actually helped them deal with those weaknesses. Like this man, he comes to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, I want to do zina. I want to do adultery. Zina is bad. Adultery is wrong. But the Prophet ﷺ is not saying, oh my God, you're so bad. How evil are you that you want to do this? And you're talking to me about this? And my Sahaba are here. He didn't overblow the situation. He didn't expand it. He just, okay, you want to do something wrong? Let's talk about it. So number one, he never over-exaggerated the problem, though the problem was extreme, but he didn't make it feel like it was extreme. Because when you go to a counselor and you tell them you have this bad addiction, they're like, oh my God, you really do this? Then you're like, uh-oh. I mean, right away, you lose the confidence of cure and healing. So the Prophet ﷺ was very good at this. So Umar ibn Khattab, I think, when he found this guy involved in vice, he did not retaliate, which shocked that person and eventually embarrassed him, and he repented.
Exactly.
And that's one thing. And the second thing is that Umar ibn Khattab is such a good personality that he didn't want to embarrass anybody. I have to say this hadith. Well, Mufti Sahab, I use this hadith in a cue card as a bookmark in my Quran. This is how important this hadith is to me. It's a cue card in my Mus'haf. Man dhabba an irdi akhihi. Anyone that backs up his Muslim brother or sister, just says, no, that's not them. Like, just, backs them up, stands up for them. Man dhabba an irdi akhihi kana haqqan ala Allah an yu'tiqahu min an-nar.
Allahu Akbar.
Mufti Sahab, it is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to free that person from the fire of hell because they stood up for someone.
Behind that person's back.
Behind the person's back. Someone saying something about you, or someone saying something about someone in the neighborhood or the community, you say, no, I don't believe it. I don't want to hear it. Reverse that, the juicy discussions. Tell me more. Then you get multiple places, and there's some operators in our communities, there's aunties, literally operators. All they do is collect data, right, about people. We don't have to do this. But Mufti Sahab, do you want to say what happened to Aisha? What is the most difficult thing that happens after you get accused? Your character gets assassinated. Character assassination, right? Your honor, something that it's more valuable than money, isn't it, Mufti Sahab? Your integrity. Yeah. Like, for example, if any one of us integrity was tarnished, you think anyone would listen to us? Because integrity is more than knowledge. It's more than wealth. It's more than everything.
Yep.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
So what happens when
And now,
someone?
in the modern day problem is blood has become so like cheap. There's so much dhulm all over the world, and also a person's integrity has become so cheap. So a person's reputation has become so cheap. You could just say one thing with one click, you can just destroy someone's reputation. We have to be more careful with that. But what you're asking, what happens?
You know what? The way the Quran says it, right? This is really interesting. The Quran says, "Istalaqawnahu bi'alsinatikum wa taquluna bi'afwahikum." When you started saying things about the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, making rumors, "Ma laysa lakum bihi ilm," you had no knowledge about this.
تَلَقَّوْنَهُ بِأَلْسِنَتِكُم. You know what that means?
Tell me.
إِذْ تَلَقَّوْنَهُ بِأَلْسِنَتِكُم وَتَقُولُونَ بِأَفْوَاهِكُم. They both mean mouth and they both mean tongue, right? He's telling us a person who just spreads rumors, he doesn't even process information in his mind. It just goes straight from that person's ears to that person's tongue.
Wow. 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 Wow.
إِذْ تَلَقَّوْنَهُ بِأَلْسِنَتِكُم. Like you received it on your tongue, meaning it bypassed your mind and your heart. And right when so you didn't even think about it. That's why it says it's تَلَقَّوْنَهُ بِأَلْسِنَةٍ. When you receive that information on your tongue, وَتَقُولُونَ بِأَفْوَاهِكُم, and then you spread it. Because if you had لولا إذ سمعتم ظن المؤمنون بأنفسهم خيرا. But if when you heard something like this, if you just had said, you know what, this can't be true, and you just process it with your mind, that's what that means over there, Bajan.
You move this up. And then it says, وَتَحْسَبُونَ هَيِّنًا. And sometimes when we're saying rumors, we think it's a small deal. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's a big deal. Allah says, وَهُوَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمٌ. This is a big deal.
Let me tell you something about that. And I mentioned this in Surah Hujurat class, right? Your commentators are funny now, man. I can't keep. Ammar, all you guys are commenting. You know what I do nowadays? I literally change the screen, and the whole time I'm looking at Google and not Shaykh Abdullah, because I can't keep a straight face with Shaykh Abdullah's gray stuff, and I can't keep a straight face with the comments that are coming. So I usually have just a Google screen right in front of me, and I'm talking straight to Google the whole time. Google.
I put very little makeup on today from Sephoria.
Okay, really?
Very little, just little, little blush. I put nothing on, and I'm still distracting you, man. You get غض البصر, Mufti Abdul, lower your gaze, man.
Then you're gonna tell me keep listening to you. Listen to me. So I gotta keep looking at you too, So nonetheless, what's interesting about this, and I said this today in Surah Hujurat class. Allah says, وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا. When sometimes we do something, we spread a rumor, we pass a comment, we say something. A lot of times we do that. We might say something wrong, and we give ourselves a pat in the back or give ourselves a pass by saying, I didn't mean it that way. It came out wrong. That was not my intention. Allah is telling us over here, أَن تَحْبَطَ أَعْمَالُكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَشْعُرُونَ in Surah Al-Hujurat. It is very likely that you did all these good deeds and you said something, even that there's intention doesn't matter at that point, because it was your responsibility to be careful and diligent before, like verify before amplify, right? That was your responsibility. It is possible that one statement you made, you didn't even realize. Maybe you didn't mean it that way, but you said it, and now Allah put water on all your a'mal and you didn't even realize. Over here Allah says the same thing. وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا. You thought it was nothing because you just said it. So that's why we have to be very careful in the way we share things with our clicks, with our mouth, with the way we process information. That is so important. Surah An-Nur talks about this. But we don't have much more time.
What happens when somebody, hurts your feelings? You never want to forgive them.
Yeah.
Like, especially if someone comes up to your daughter. Yeah. I have a daughter. I know the feeling. Like, may Allah protect our daughters. I mean, I'm not saying that daughters are more vulnerable, but their dignity is so much more precious than men. I mean, men are very honorable too. Men can get away with 100 mistakes, and girls, for one small mistake, they amplify. Am I right, Mufti Sahib? Yeah. It's the way the culture and the society looks at it. So can you imagine that how difficult it would be for someone like Abu Bakr? Because one of the accusers, there are three major Sahaba who are accused: Hassan, Miftaah, and Hamna bint Jahsh, right? And when you look at the ones who accuse Abu Bakr's daughter, one of them is one who receives financial benefit from Abu Bakr Siddiq. He's a relative of Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr sponsored him as an immigrant. He was a poor person. He came. You know, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said when he found out that his own relative was accusing his daughter, he said, Wallahi la anfiqu alayhi abad. I swear to God, I will not sponsor him. I will not pay anything for him. Mufti, are you paying attention to me?
Yes, I am. Okay.
So now this is all happening. Like Abu Bakr is disappointed that he finds out his own relative is accusing his own daughter, Aisha radiallahu, who is purely innocent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals 10, 11 verses, reclaiming her innocence. This is Aisha radiallahu. Quran is saying she was pure. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, once the verdict comes, he said, I'm not going to support this person anymore. I'm not forgiving him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals the ayah talking about people when they're hurt, how to deal with pain, how to deal with accusation, how to be the better person when people are being nasty to you. And Abu Bakr is the one who's being standardized. Abu Bakr, I know you're Abu Bakr, you're Siddiq, you're amazing, but I'm telling you, this attitude is not acceptable. We're not going to accept that you take this personal. Okay, a lot of times people take it personal. Meri abru kharab ho gayi hai. Like my honor, my dignity, my family, but then sometimes people justify these people are hurting deen, that's why I hate them. Like sometimes they don't like my masjid, that's why so they use Islam as a scapegoat to hate people. Astaghfirullah. Since when do we use Islam as a scapegoat to dislike people? If you use Islam, you should love them for the sake of Allah, and if they're doing something wrong, you should hate the action, not the person.
Yeah.
Right? And I have to say this, the Prophet ﷺ saw someone in a ditch, down on the ground, filthy, dirty. The Prophet ﷺ said, will you not help him? The Sahaba said, yes, we will help him. And the Prophet ﷺ said, this person is literally engrossed in filth. When people are engrossed in sin, we still have to help them. The Prophet ﷺ, unsur akhaka zaliman aw madluma. Help your brother or sister when they're oppressed or when they're oppressing. The Sahaba said, we understand when someone's being oppressed, we can help them, but how do we help an oppressor? The Prophet ﷺ said, we stop them from the oppression, right? So in this case, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was hurt deeply, and he said, I'm not spending anything, I'm not going to forgive this person. How many people have hurt our feelings, but we've never spoken to them again? Right, Mufti Sahib?
Yeah.
They offend us. We get hurt. But one of the beautiful things I can just disclaimer about you. I don't know, I can't say this about myself, but I know from my history around you that all my life that I've been with you, I've carried you in my lap for so many years. I know you very well. And I've noticed that one of the most beautiful things about you isn't your turban, and it's definitely not your hair, is that your heart is so clean, mashallah. Anyone that does wrong to you, I've noticed you're ready to forgive them. Sometimes I get irritated, but you always have this positive side of it. Okay, don't worry, Allah will forgive them. We forgive them. And I'm sure you learned this from your teachers, and eventually this was a teaching of the Prophet ﷺ. May Allah give us that ability. But Mufti Sahib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Abu Bakr, it is not permissible for those who have Allah has blessed. وَلَا يَأْتَلِ أُولِي الْفَضْلِ مِنْكُمْ وَالسَّعَةِ أَنْ يُؤْتُوا إِلَى الْقُرْبَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ وَالْمُهَاجِرِينَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Allah basically is saying to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, those who have given wealth to and blessings, they are not allowed to hold their wealth and not give to those who are poor. Meaning, go and give. And guess what Allah says? You know what Sahaba say? Ibn Mubarak rahimahullah says, verse number 22 of Surah Nur is one of the most hopeful verses in the Quran. Why? Allah is saying to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, وَلْيَعْفُوا, forgive those who accuse your daughter. وَلْيَصْفَحُوا, صَفْحَ in Arabic, what does صَفْحَ mean, Mufti Sahib?
To forgive and forget.
But in صَفْحَةٌ, what does it mean?
It means to ignore, to just wipe off.
Literal meaning of صَفْحَ, literal meaning, paper.
Paper, yeah.
Thank you. So صَفْحَ means to ignore, forget. But صَفْحَ is also a page.
Oh, صَفْحَةٌ, yeah.
صَفْحَةٌ. So when Allah is saying that I want you to forgive and flip the page, just flip the chapter.
Flip it, yeah.
Just flip it, never, خلاص, it's over. وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا. Turn the page, right? And Allah is saying to Abu Bakr, Abu Mufti Sahib, أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Don't you want Allah to forgive you? Don't you want Allah to forgive you? And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, Wallahi inni uhibbu an yaghfir Allah. I swear I want Allah to forgive me. I forgive Miftaah, the accuser of my daughter, and I will spend money on him like I used to spend. If not, guess what? Abu Bakr spent double the amount of money. If he was giving 10 gold coins, he started giving 20 gold coins. He said, I definitely want Allah to forgive me. I want Allah to be happy with me. So these are the things that, we go through pain in life. We learn, number one, hide people's mistakes. Man satara muslim, satara awrata musliman, satara Allahu awratahu yawm al-qiyamah. Anyone who hides a Muslim's mistakes, Allah will hide their mistakes on the day of judgment. Anyone that backs up a Muslim brother or sister, Allah will free them for the fire of Jahannam. These are the things that we're taught in the Quran. And Mufti Sahib, and this is all about Surah Nur. If we're accusing people, we're losing all the light that Allah has given us.
Yeah, exactly. We'll end with that. I mean, you spoke about, we beautifully elaborated on how we can get light. You said that by lowering your gaze during the day and by lowering your head during the night is the way to get nur from Allah. And the way to lose that nur instantly is and without even knowing, because Bhajan, when it becomes night, the day doesn't just go away, but the light fades away, like MJs fade away, right? It fades away.
Have you seen me ever fade away?
No, alhamdulillah, never.
It's not a fade away. I just go away. I just disappear.
So like the light of the day, it fades away to the night, and you don't even really looked outside. It was right now. It was before iftar, and all of a sudden it's dark. Like that, your nur fades away. You don't even realize it's going. Sometimes you do sins, you realize you can do tawbah, but the worst time is when you're doing sins, you don't even realize it's fading away. All that nur you developed, right? All that nur you developed, it starts fading away into the night, and next thing you know, al-kadhulumat fi bahr al-lujin yaghshahu mawjun min fawqi mawjun min fawqihi sahab dhulumatun ba'daha fawqa ba'd. You become immersed in darkness, and that's how it goes away. Your dhulumat can come through sins, but if those sins, they're sins, you do tawbah. But these things, you don't even know what you're doing, and it's just slowly but surely all the light is going away. Jazakallah khair, brother.
Can you just tell us Abu Dujana, what he said at death? Do you remember what he said, Abu Dujana?
Abu Dujana, when he was asked, what is the most hopeful action of yours when you stand in front of Allah? We mentioned it earlier, one of the stand-up tafsirs. I mean, we have to coin this differently. It's called stand-up tafsir instead of Quran reflection. How do you like that name, Ajahn?
I'll contemplate it.
You contemplate, okay. So Abu Dujana, when he was asked, what's the most hopeful amal of yours that you're going to take with yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And Abu Dujana said, Inna arja amali indi alla adaytu ahadan bilisani wa lam yakun fi qalbi ghishun li ahad. That the most hopeful deed of mine that I'll present in front of Allah on the day of judgment is that I have never hurt the feelings of any person with my tongue, nor have I ever harbored any ill feelings in my heart for any individual. These two things I will take with me to Allah. When Allah asks me, Abu Dujana, what did you do for me? I'll present my heart, I'll present my tongue and my pure heart. Because indeed, a person who has a pure heart in this world has a person who has a pure heart in this world has a piece of paradise in this world. Because paradise is pure, and if your heart is pure, you have attained a piece of paradise. Just like if your heart is full of jealousy, you have a piece of Jahannam living with you, because you're always restless. So if the opposite is true too, if you have a pure heart in this world, you have a piece of paradise while you're living in this world. Jazakallah khair for everybody.
Jazakallah khair for your advice and your depth information and your wisdom. And I want to encourage all the crowd again we'll be starting at 9:45. We're going into our last 10 nights of Ramadan. We're going to have special events happening in the last 10 nights. Later on at night, inshallah, we will publicize that tomorrow in the next program. So 9:45 we will start. Please share and like our pages and what you are also experiencing with the crowd. Jazakumullah khair. Keep us in your du'as. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Mufti Sahib.